I caught my husband flirting multiple times with all these women, and he slick-talked his way out of it. Well, you know what happened when my cousin sent me a recording of what he said one day? You won't believe it even if I told you, but you know what? We'll go back to the beginning. I'll walk you through exactly what I'm dealing with, and you guys can tell me if you think it's toxic or not. Have you ever felt so dumb that you hate yourself? Have you ever wanted to go back into the past so that you could open your eyes? They say love is blind, but this is more than being blind. This is stupidity. How could I have not seen this coming? I mean, how? When all the signs were there, how would I have allowed him to lie to me and make me think that I was crazy? He's right, I'm just a stupid wife and I deserve what happened to me. If only I had opened my eyes and investigated the matter earlier, I would not be in the position where the world is just laughing at me. I feel so dumb and stupid, and I hate myself so much right now, and I feel like I'm crying. I'm just tired of it. What does crying help? It does not take back what happened. What I can tell you is that if you suspect your spouse is lying to you about something multiple times, trust your gut. Don't wait to be shown 50 signs like I needed to be shown. Don't wait to be humiliated because everyone else knows the truth except you. Get to the bottom of it, no matter how much it hurts. Don't be a coward like I was. See, I'm 34 and female, and I just wanted so badly to believe that Ray, my Ray of 7 years, loved me and would never cheat on me, even though people have been warning me for years about him. As early as our first year of marriage, I noticed him flirting with other women. When I asked him about this, he tells me that he was just being friendly. He also told me that I had to understand since we were both in the same field. He claimed that being personable and relatable was one of the qualities needed to become a good lawyer. He made me think that maybe I was not a good enough lawyer because I was so charismatic like him. I believed him and decided not to question him anymore about this when it came to work. Besides, I did not want to be one of those wives who would show up at their husband's workplace just to monitor him. I told myself that he needed to do this for his job. And since we were both lawyers, I just simply had to understand. Let us put the matter of him flirting with people at work aside and focus on how he's around other women. His little charm does not turn off when he leaves work. He has it all day, and that has often made me feel uncomfortable. There have been times where I felt that he went too far and might have cheated. When that happened, I could not shut up. I told him how I felt, and he reassured me that nothing was going on. He spun the whole thing on me and told me that I was projecting. He made me feel guilty for always keeping tabs on him and made me feel like I was controlling. The whole time he was making me question my sanity when I was right all along. For 7 years, I've endured all of this. I've turned a blind eye when I've been told that he was seen flirting with other people. I knew that he would just tell me that it was all in my head if I ever questioned him. I didn't want to lose him after falsely accusing him, so I learned to keep my thoughts to myself. I doubted that I would find someone like him anywhere. Ray's smart, handsome of a man who's incredibly successful in his career. He's also very respected in the community, and I hate that most people recognize me as his wife and not for my own achievements, but I've never resented him for it. Ray and I met when I had just finished college and fell in love. We dated for a few years and then got married, and before I was married to Ray, I was staying with my uncle and his kids. My parents were never home because of busy jobs, so my father's brother adopted me, and my cousins are like my brothers, and they're close to Ray. Even though they're close to him, they've told me that sometimes they feel like he's flirting with my girl cousins. Every time that they come to me about this, I've dismissed them and told them that they're just seeing things. I've always stood by my husband no matter what, especially in public. Due to that, I've shrugged off a lot of warnings from people about him. I've decided that ignorance is bliss without even realizing it, and despite that, deep down, I felt that he was cheating on me. My only solution was to not look too much into it and protect my heart. Unfortunately, my little bubble burst this weekend. You see, my husband and cousin's brother went out of town for a hunting trip this week. One of my cousins, Joy, is getting married in a couple of weeks, and he invited all of the men in the family to go hunting with him. He was supposed to be gone the whole weekend and be back on Monday morning, which is tomorrow. And when Ray gets home tomorrow, he's coming home to an empty house. I've decided to leave him after this last straw. This morning, I get a video from Joe. See, Joy said that he could not allow me to carry on with this marriage without knowing this. He didn't want to ruin my marriage, but he felt like I needed to know. He explained to me that all weekend my husband has been drinking uncontrollably and they had a hard time to control him. At some point, he started ranting about me and calling me a stupid, boring wife. He then started to brag about how many times he cheated on me, but I didn't realize it, and he said that he could carry on cheating forever, and I would never even realize it. In addition to that, he said that he was pretty sure that even if I caught him in the act, I would believe him. He said that I was so feeble of a mind with low self-esteem, apparently I knew that he was a catch and would never ever get someone like him. He then said that he only lied to me to protect my feelings because I was such a fragile human being. Joy explained to me that he had been so drunk that he could not register where he was or who he was even saying all these things to. After he ranted about me a few times, my cousin decided to record a video to send to me. Joy said that they had all gotten tired of how he shamelessly disrespected me and needed to know the truth. As you can imagine, the video shattered me into countless pieces. I felt everything I had ever known slip away from me. I felt my marriage crumble, and I knew that there was no returning from this. I thought about it every time I asked him about a woman, and he lied to me about their connection. I started to wonder who the women were. Was it Andrea from marketing? My neighbor? That beautiful client he once had? I started to think about every single woman I had suspected of returning his advances, and I felt sick to my stomach. I will not go into too much detail about how my day went, though. All you need to know is that it went terrible. I feel dead inside, but that's slowly starting to be replaced by anger. I'm wondering where he got the nerve to do that to me, to disrespect me like that and underestimate my ability to think for myself. I'm furious that he weaponized my love and trust for him like this. I want to get my hands on him and take out all of my frustration, and I want to message him and insult him using every insult that I can think of. I want to ruin him so that he has nothing left. Instead, I'm unable to function. The dough that I was going to make some cakes with is still on the kitchen counter. I'm sitting on my balcony with a glass of wine and fuming. All I know is that when he comes back, he'll not have a wife. I'm done. There's no going back to this. Unlike what he said in the video, I'm not so desperate that I would take him back. I would rather die alone with cats in the woods than let him touch me ever again. After the devil, fear man indeed. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. So we do have some comments on this story, and I want you to know the next update comes out 2 weeks later, and it's pretty crazy. But a quick little side note, guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel and you want daily videos, go ahead and click it. Also, something you might not know, I have another channel that's strictly revenge stories. It's called Mr. Reddito's Revenge. You can find it in the description. You can find it just by searching on YouTube, Mr. Reddito's Revenge. If that's your sort of thing and you love a good revenge story, that's the place to be. Anyways, let's hop into the first comment. It comes from Amelia, and it says, "Girl, what the heck? Your husband's truly a piece of crap. In fact, he's an a-hole from another dimension. I'm so angered by what I've just read right now. I can't even believe that there's people like him who give men a bad name like this. I really want to hug you right now. I'm so sorry that this is happening to you, and you did not deserve it at all. You deserve to be loved, honored, and cherished, and you should take his stuff and leave it in the driveway. Why must you leave your home when he's the one who has broken your vows? He deserves nothing good after what he's done to you, and I hope that you're not going to take him back or let him get away with it. If this is your final straw, then I support you in everything that you're going to do to move forward. I want him to cry when he realizes that this little cover has been blown. The nerve of this man." Comment number 2 from Tyra says, "Oh no, OP. You must be gutted after finding this out. I'm sorry for your pain. You didn't deserve it, and please don't take this the wrong way, but I feel that you should have left a long time ago. You know, you've subconsciously known this for years, but you chose to believe his lies. Is it because of the security that he provides you, and are you scared to be alone? Some trauma victims tend to stick with people who cause them pain because that's the only certainty that there is for them. I think this is happening to you. Maybe you ignored all this because you were trying to protect yourself. For that, I deeply sympathize with you. I hope that you leave him and never look back. He does not deserve you. You need to rebuild your self-esteem and remember who you are. He's dimmed your light for far too long, girl. Show him the power of a woman scorned. Whatever you decide to do, know that you're worth so much than he said about you. All those nasty things he said about you are not true at all. Your only fault was blinding trust of him. I hope you remember that. Update number 1. 2 weeks later. Hey guys, well, I just wanted to let you all know that I'm grateful for all your comments. They've been a great comfort to me lately. I've been reading them every chance that I've gotten, and honestly, that and being at my parents' place have helped. I put myself on leave at work, took some things, and went to visit my parents. I sent him a note telling him that I knew all that he said to the boys on their little boys' weekend away and that I was done with him. I told him not to contact me or I would do it myself, and I needed some time to think after processing this whole thing. Being able to cry into my mom's arms was the best thing ever. After that, I was able to start unpacking everything. It turns out that what I knew was surface level. See, my mother tells me that about a month ago she saw something very suspicious but did not know how to tell me. She said that she went to an estate to visit her friend. It was 5 in the morning. Her friend had just gotten out of surgery, so she was bringing her some food. She thought she saw my husband sneaking out of a woman's house at the time in the driveway. She was pretty sure that she was seeing things, and in the end she concluded that it was, maybe a client's house. She didn't want to worry me because I was so busy with my fertility treatment, so she said nothing. See, she did confront him about it, and he said that a client had called him for an emergency and he went. He made it seem like it was no big deal, but she was not too sure. She then told me that she remembered which house that he had visited because it was directly across from her friend's house, and I told her to give me the address. I wanted to find out the truth. Once she gave me the address, I drove to the house. Deep down, I knew that I was not going to like what I was about to see, but I decided to go ahead anyways because when I saw the woman who lived in that house, I was certain that I was being punked. See ya? The woman who ruined me all those years ago, it couldn't be. When I saw her, I started to actually laugh. Of course, he would cheat on me with my old memory of my nemesis. If he could flirt with my cousins, then surely my enemies weren't off limits. Well, Sia was shocked to see me at her house and asked me what I was doing there. I had no pleasantries to exchange with her. I just straight up got to the point and asked her if she was tired of stealing men from me yet. See, many years ago, many moons back, Sia and I were colleagues doing articles at the same firm. I had a boyfriend that I loved very much and whom I convinced I was going to marry. Sia stole that boyfriend from me, and I ended up leaving the company to pursue my articles elsewhere. I ended up meeting Ray, and I married him. I have not thought about Sia in years? And I don't care about her. Now, here she is in front of me, and Sia asked what I meant, so I showed her a picture of my husband and asked her what her involvement with him was. Without hesitation, she said that that man was her boyfriend, and I showed her my ring and told her that that man is my husband. Sia stepped back in shock when I said that. She started to have what seemed like a panic attack, and I acted quickly and got her into the house. I got her some water and made her do some breathing exercises. Once she had calmed down, she started to swear up and down that she did not know that I was married to Ray. As she did this, I noticed that she had gained a lot of weight, especially on her abdomen. I then asked her if she was really cheating on Peter with Ray, and I asked her where her dignity was because she could not remain loyal to the man that she stole. Well, Sia, who had often been snarky and unapologetic, told me that she broke up with Peter years ago. So she ended up losing her career after he turned emotionally abusive towards her, and she then moved to this town last year for a fresh start, which is how she met Ray. She believed that she was single, and she fell for him, which led to her pregnancy. Now she's 8 months pregnant with his kid, and had no idea that he was married. I was the one who had a panic attack after she told me this, and I swear, the more I uncovered about this man, the more disgusted I feel. I mean, does he ever have a limit? Update number 2, guys. This one is a week later. Hey, yeah, it's me again. Update 2. I thought, I would drop this for you, and if you thought that bombshells were done, you're in for a surprise. I've uncovered so much after finding out about Sia. After she tells me everything, I left her house, and I told her that she could keep him, but she should know that he's a serial cheater. I told her to tread lightly because how she got him is how she'll lose him. I had nothing more to say to her, and Being impregnated by that rubbish was more than enough punishment. I went home and told my mother everything. I then started to tell my family members what happened, and I told them that if he tried to send me messages through them, they should ignore him. I have no interest in talking to him right now because my anger threatens to consume me. I got an influx of support from family members, which helped me feel slightly better, and I also got a message from one of my cousins, Cheyenne, who heard what happened. Cheyenne lives out of the country, and I have not seen her since my wedding when she was just out of high school. Cheyenne told me that right after my engagement, he approached her. He was drunk, and it was at our engagement party. He tried to make a pass at her, but she told him to back off, pal. She told her mother what happened, but her mom told her to stay away. He never tried it again, and she assumed that the alcohol was what made him act that way. She also saw how happy I was and did not want to ruin it. Soon after my wedding, she moved away and tried to forget about what happened until now. Yep. Hearing what the family was saying reminded her of what went down. She was horrified to know that she was not the only one who had been a victim of his advances. Even though it was too late, she felt that I had a right to know the truth. What she told me only made me even more determined not to forgive him, and it was too disgusting to even think about, and she just turned 18. How could he look at her and feel attracted? I knew then that I could not let him get away with this. He needs to pay. I think I know exactly how, as, I'm kind of an exceptional lawyer. Naturally, he has a workplace rival. He and his rival have been at it for absolute years, and you know what? Ray's dream, is to find a partner before his rival. Lately, all he's been speaking about is finding a way to make a partner. If I truly want to destroy him, then I need to work with Alan. What I have for Alan is what he needs to snatch the partnership from Ray. If there's one thing that Ray loves in this world, it's his job. He's more loyal and dedicated to his job than I am, that's for sure. I don't think that he would be sad if he lost me, but imagine if something happened to his little precious job. That would be the perfect way for him to feel how I feel. Let me get started on my plans because no one messes with me like that. Updates number 3. A few days later. Hey guys, oh man, where do I even start? Did I not say that he was going to feel the same exact pain that I did? He thought that it was very funny when I came home and told him that I was leaving him. He told me that he was tired of waiting around for me to get over it. Imagine being told to get over such a betrayal. So then I told him that clearly the alcohol was not an excuse for the way that he acted. He told me that I just needed to get over it. It was not a big deal. I wanted to take my anger out on him at the moment and tell him all the new information I found out. But I didn't. Instead, I gave him a chance to confess. I asked him if there was any other women out there and if there were any kids at all. He told me clearly that it didn't matter because I was going to leave him. He told me that he was not even going to beg me to stay because he had been waiting for this to end for a while. He said that he was so sick of pretending that this marriage works when it clearly doesn't. Those words cut me even deeper than I had been cut before. I bit my tongue and did not call him, the words I wanted to call him. I took what I needed and I left. After dropping my things off at my mom's, I called Alan and told him that I wanted to see him. He was surprised that I would call him, but I told him that we're now having a common enemy and I had something that could help. We met shortly after and I summarized the story for him. I then told him that I had a video of Ray insulting me and admitting to all that he's been doing without shame. I told him it was his as long as he used it to destroy Ray. Alan was very, very thankful for it all and told me that he owed me. He told me that if I needed anything during the divorce, I could call him, and he said there was nothing more he wanted than to see Ray knock down a peg or two. Alan informed me that he was going to use his secret weapon in a couple of days. He had heard that soon the new partner was going to be announced, and I wished him luck and we parted on good terms. Now that that's done, it was my time to wait until the damage was done. Well, about an hour ago, the video was sent back to me by an acquaintance. It's doing the rounds in town, and by the time I finished writing this, everybody would have seen it. I'm just waiting for him to realize what happened and to call me. When he does, I'm not going to give him any answers, and I'll tell him that this is all in his head. He's paranoid, as he's always told me. Final update, 5 long months later. Hello guys, I'm pleased to tell you that I'm in a much better position than when I wrote my first post. Your encouraging comments are part of the reason for that. Therefore, I want to thank you, and things have calmed down after the chaos I caused by having the video released. Things just went further south for him after that, and while I flourished. Alan got someone to post the video in the unofficial group of the company. After that, people saved the video and shared it like wildfire. When Ray got to work that day, everyone knew exactly what was going on. He was humiliated and had to go to HR. Immediately, the video reflected badly on the company. Soon after that, Alan got the position that Ray had been gunning for. Unfortunately, Ray did not lose his job. However, I was patient and watched as he slowly unraveled. Of course, I added fuel to the fire by serving him divorce papers and telling him that I wanted the house and half of the assets, baby. In fact, I wanted to take everything since in our prenup cheating was not allowed. It was very funny that he had been the person to suggest a prenup in the first place. He wanted to protect his assets since he had more than I did, and I guess that's why. Well, my mother advised me to put in a clause that if he cheated, then I would get the house and some of the assets. I'm thankful for my mother for making me do that. Otherwise, I would have been a sitting duck. It appeared that he had forgotten about our little clause due to the mess that he was dealing with at work. When I reminded him, he had the nerve to cry. He told me that he was already down and out and could not take any more. I asked him if he had once thought of maybe stop hurting me. Or did he just, pile it on? I was not a saint. I was a woman who had 7 years of her life taken away. Therefore, mercy was not in my vocabulary. And there was nothing he could do about it except drink. As he does when he has a problem. He turns to the bottle. He drank himself to the point where he was drinking at work. After messing up and embarrassing the company for a while, they decided to let him go. His reputation was tarnished and everyone knew that he was a drunk and a cheat, so they didn't want to hire him. Amidst all of this, he had a court battle with me, where I presented all the evidence that I had on him, cheating of course, and the judge took my side and decided to grant me the house and half of the assets. He was devastated when this was announced. He simply could not believe it. It was so bad that I feared that he would have had a mental breakdown in court, but I had no such luck. The look in his eyes when I left my car will always stay with me. A man who was once so confident was now on his knees. I couldn't believe that I've done that. He was always making me feel like I would be nothing without him, but it was the opposite, baby. Without him, I'm everything that I've ever wanted to be. I'm a thriving person in all areas of my life and have never loved myself the way I currently do. Last time I heard, Sia was busy fighting him for child support after I cleaned him dry. Good riddance. Guys, this one comment, it got a good amount of attention, so I do want to read it. It is from Christina Jackson 42. I'm glad that you divorced him, as you should have done that from the very beginning. Good for you for standing up for yourself, however, you turned into him. And what I mean by that is you've used these dirty tactics to hurt him, which does not seem like you. I'm not sure that I would have gone about it the same way if I were you. I would have just divorced him and gone on with my life. I would have let karma do it for me, however. I understand that we're not the same person. So we're bound to do things differently, and because of that, I just want to wish you luck on your journey. You have gone through a lot, and now all you need is peace. I hope that you do not let him have access to even part of your life. Cut him off. Forget him, because he does not deserve you. Guys, what do you think about that advice? I want to know. Do you think it was harsh? Do you think that comment's pushing too far? Do you think, hey, OP can do what OP wants? Let me know in the comment section. And if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, there's a story every single day. So make sure you subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And of course, remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.